Hello guys, welcome back to a new tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do this really cool 3D text in Illustrator. You can see how I've made these two examples. This one is for a speed art I did not too long ago, so you can go check that out if you haven't already. And then this one is for a client. You can see it's pretty cool, and I definitely recommend using it on some of your designs. It works well on logos, it works cool on banners, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're just going to be doing a new one, so let's get going. So what you want to start off is by pressing the text icon in the top left, or you can press T on your keyboard, and what you want to do is type text, and the font that we're going to be using is called Unisand. I'll put that in the description for you guys to download, and we are going to be using the bold, just the bold version, so there's no italics or anything. Okay, so now we got our text there. Now we're going to add an effect, so you can go to effect and then we can go to warp, and then we got all of these effects. I prefer to use the bulge, I think it's just my favorite to use, but yeah, you can just mess around with all of them, see what looks best for you, and yeah, it's a pretty cool tab to learn. Okay, so now we got a bulge. I think this we got a bend of 10%, and press OK. And now we want to make our appearance. So to do that, we want to go. You want to have our text selected, then we can go to Window and Appearance. But if you already have it open, then already have this tick, and you should have a window like this somewhere. Well, not like all of this, just just this Appearance tab right here. And now you should be able to see your bulge in there as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click on this icon right here to add a new fill. And there we go, we can see that we added a new fill, and it adds it's like the layers that we have right here. It's just basically layers that are tied to this text. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a gradient. So we're going to go over here and we can click gradient. Okay, so now we have that, and we have our gradient tab open. If you don't have your gradient tab open, just go to window and then gradient, which is right there. And now we can pick whatever we want. I think I want to stick with the orange. So yeah, if you do have grayscale open, if you open your gradient and it goes to grayscale by default, you just want to click on this icon in the top right, then go to RGB, and there we go, we have all of these colors. Actually, I think I prefer this kind of cyan kind of feel. So yeah, we want it to go from dark to light to dark, as you can see we have on this NATO suffix example. So to do that, we need our end colors to be the same color. So we're going to find a color that we like and then copy it over so it's the same on both, and we can just press enter. And now that we've done that, we want to make a darker version in the middle, I mean a lighter version. So to do that, you just want to click under the line and it will make a new point, just double click, and now we can just make a lighter version of what we're after. Obviously it doesn't need to be the same color, because as you can see on my native suffix one, I go from like a green to a turquoise and then back to a green. So yeah, it doesn't need to be exactly the same color, just whatever looks cool for you, whatever you prefer, then that will be what works best for you. Okay, so now we got our color of our text, and now we're going to add a stroke, and this stroke is going to be the same color as the 3D effect. So as you can see, we've got a really dark green there, and then on here we've got like a really dark grey. So we're just going to add a dark blue for this version. So to do that, you're just going to click and on add new stroke, and make sure you do still have your text selected or nothing will happen. And then you just want to drag it down below your fill, just so it doesn't go over the top, and yeah, so just make sure that you do that. And we can just increase our stroke, and then I think 12 is about good. Yeah, I think we'll stick with 12. And then we can just go over to here, to the stroke icon over here, just double click, and then we can make this the dark blue that we want. So no, that's not what we want. Maybe this will be a bit, yeah, okay, this is the color that we're going to go for. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a new fill back in our appearance tab. Make sure that you have your text selected, and then go to add new fill, just click there. You can see we got the new fill thing right here, and then you just want to drag that below your stroke, because then again we don't want our fill to go above our stroke, because this fill is going to be the 3D effect. And yeah, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to effects, which is right here, making sure that we have our new fill selected. Then we want to go to distort and transform, and then transform. And now I'm going to have the horizontal at 89%, and then the vertical at 96%. If you want to see how this is affecting the text, all you want to do is press preview, and then you can see any changes that it does. we're basically making guidelines to how it's going to look. Guidelines to where we can pen tool. So now, and then we want to make our move vertical to 9 pixels. And there we go. We can basically see these guidelines for where we're going to add our pen tool effect. What we want to do is we want to make sure that this new fill that we have is the same color as the stroke. So to do that, we want to click on your stroke, just double click on the stroke there as well, and then just copy the code, and then we can go back to our fill, and then click on the foreground color, and just paste the code in. And there we go. You can see that we have made the 3D effect the same color as the stroke. So now what we're going to do is we're going to lock this text layer, because we're going to be working behind it and we don't really want to interfere with it. So so what we're going to do is we're going to make a new layer, which is right there, create a new layer icon, which is right there, and then just want to drag this layer icon just below the text, and now we can do whatever we like. But what we need to do before we do that, we need to make sure that we don't have a stroke, because then things will just land up thicker that we don't want to be. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use our pen tool, which is right here. We can press P on your keyboard, and then just want to match up the points that we made using the transform tool. And so we're just going to keep matching them up, and then you'll start to see the 3D effect that we're looking for. And so we're just going to keep matching it up, just like this. And you could also add, if you do know what your 3D how you want your 3D to look, you can just go. You don't need to use the transform tool. You can just you could just go with it and make it deep, however deep you want it, and that can always look good as well. And so let's just keep matching these up. Okay. And I think this is the final one. Okay, so there we go. We've got this really cool 3D effect on the text. And if we did want to make it even more 3D, we could just go with what we know 3D would look like, and then just add points. So we could just do it like this, and there we go. And then we'd need to just match that up down there as well. And there you go. You can see that we added a bit more 3D effect, but it does look a bit weird on its own, so you'd have to do it all. But yeah, so that's how you can do a 3D effect in Illustrator. You can see it looks really cool. Obviously, you can pick the colors and all that for yourself. And so yeah, thank you guys for watching the tutorial. I appreciate you tuning in, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.